What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes news. In this video we're going to be talking about some new topics which have emerged due to the new update. Stuff like the new Forma currency, the Colorless Tomes, new status, divine codes and stuff like that. If you want to jump to any of these topics first, you can check the timestamps in the description right below that like button. And with that said, let us begin. So the first topic we're going to be talking about is the Forma Souls. So this is a new currency that has been introduced with this update. And they do have this in the announcement board, and FEH also tweeted this out on Twitter. So after the Hall of Forms, you can basically exchange Forma Souls to gain Forma Units as your allies, basically just recruiting the Hall of Form units. You can actually buy Forma Souls from the shop in FEH itself, and there are also some rules and restrictions regarding this new currency, so I'll explain that. So these Forma allies which you recruit from the Forma Souls, they will be able to keep all of their skills and all of their level. And level means only their level, it doesn't mean the merge level. And you're gonna be able to keep all of your premium skills. Hall of Forms is really easy to farm up for a lot of premium skills on your units, and you could have this on your unit right off the bat, saving a lot of orbs and a lot of fodder units for that premium skill. However, the Forma allies will lose their merges and their sacred seals, so you're only going to be able to get unmerged Forma allies using this, and there are more restrictions where the Forma allies cannot be used as the source of merges or be used for inheriting skills. So they cannot be used as fodders and they cannot be made into combat manuals. Simple as that. Say like you get a Forma ally of Sothis, you're not gonna be able to merge her up with normal version of Sothis. Forma units will have blue stars and blue border, so they're gonna be separated from the usual regular units, so they cannot really be merged into those normal versions. However, it may be possible that you can merge up your normal version into the Forma unit. Now you would ask, what does this change? How does it make any kind of difference? The difference is that the Forma unit will have neutral IVs. They will not be able to have any kind of boon, and many of the units have really powerful super boons, so you're not going to be able to have that. But I'm not really too sure about this. So this could happen where you cannot merge Forma into the normal unit, but you can merge up the normal units into the Forma. And now here comes the worst part about this currency. Remember how at first I said that they can be purchased from the shop? Now here's the thing, there's absolutely no mention of them being available without purchase. So this could potentially be a thing where if you're a free-to-play player, if you don't spend any money on this game, you're not going to be able to get these Forma Souls, and hence you're not going to be able to get these Forma units whatsoever. You have to just purchase them if you want to have access to these. So is this our first paywalled currency? So far, any kind of currency that has been released in FEH has been available to free-to-play players. They can be bought with AR packages and stuff like that, but at base they will always available first as free currency. So I don't know about this because it has been data mined how much it will cost. So apparently it's like an AR package along which this Forma Soul is being sold. So it's like 30 USD, which is gonna be pretty high for a lot of people who have not really spent any kind of money in this game before. So the question is, who is this for? Clearly for whales, they don't care about this. You have so many restrictions with this, you're not able to merge them up. And whales as it is have so much money that they can just plus and merge whichever unit they want, and they have access to the most premium skills in the game. They do not care. And there are so many whales in this game who will just plus and merge any kind of new shiny unit, so this is not clearly aimed at them. And seeing as the price point, this is clearly aimed towards the medium spending people who play this game. You know, the dolphins as they say. Many people who spend under $80 per month or anything like that, or once a while maybe they spend that much money. So for those kinds of people, they're going to be buying orbs, so they might as well get these Forma Souls and buy a Hall of Form unit. And they have more incentive to buy this after the Hall of Form has closed, and if one of their favorite units was in Hall of Forms. So yeah, that's unfortunately the news. So I know a lot of people are going to be pretty sad about this because you're not able to get this for free and you have to just purchase them. And a lot of people might also ask, what is the use of buying an unmerged unit? The use is that they're going to be having premium skills. With Hall of Forms, you could grind for the premium skills and just have a fully built unit. In that case, this does give you the value, and there are many units in this game which are really, really powerful even if they're unmerged. Just to name a few, Winter Sothis, Mufasa, Legendary Leaf, Hoshiden Summer Micaiah, Duo Alphons, you know, units like those. Now, I'm not really too sure if they're gonna be releasing Legendary Heroes in Hall of Forms, because I think that would be a bit insane, but anything at this point is kind of possible. They already have seasonal units in Hall of Forms. There has not been any kind of legendary unit so far in Hall of Forms, but who knows. And I'm also curious, like, can you actually purchase more than one, like, Forma Soul of a unit? So, yeah, this is another way of FEH of monetizing a game mode, I guess. And I really believe that the management in FEH has changed, because the monetization has been pretty aggressive so far as of 2020. Obviously, we did have the New Year bundles. That was present in last year too, but then we have the FEH Pass, and now we have this. So I'm really wondering if there has been any kind of like change in intelligent systems, or even by the force of Nintendo, because FEH has been declining in terms of revenue every single year. And even though it does make a huge amount of money, no companies and no investors like to see graphs where the line is going down. So yeah, that's probably the reason. But my question is why? You know, many of the gacha games, from what I've heard, just sell the currency, maybe some packages, or maybe the subscription service, especially in the Nintendo games. You know, the Mario Kart Tour also has that. But a currency that is purchased only, I mean, I do understand that they are a business, and the first priority of any business is to make money. So they would try to monetize this, but still, you know, another reason which a lot of people have been talking about is the loot box ban. So these kinds of Forma units, or the FEH Pass, which gives you 5-star units, and the extra like currencies are set. They are not random like the orbs, because you cannot tell what you're going to be getting from the orbs. But here, the game explicitly tells you what you're going to be getting out of these purchases. So if you guys have not been following, last year in August, FEH was completely shut down in Belgium because of their laws. And after they implemented the law, FEH cannot be downloaded legally through like the Google Play Store. And many of the other countries have been following the trail of Belgium, the United States especially. I don't really live in US, but I've heard many things about a bill, I think last year itself, where they were trying to regulate these gacha games and these loot boxes in general. It was a really poorly worded bill that was really vague, so I don't really think much of it, but they're still trying to do that. So this is basically FEH's way of backing up themselves as a defense that they can say that they are selling these products which are not completely random. So that's what a lot of people have been speculating, but we don't really know for sure. So that is your new currency Forma, and the next Hall of Forms is going to be featuring Thracia units. So we're going to be having Leaf, Finn, Sword Reinhardt, and Green Olwen. Now let's move on to our next topic about Colorless Tomes. So it has been announced in the announcement board, and the Colorless Tome icon is also present in the data mine. So Colorless Tomes are soon going to be a thing in this game, and I am guessing like a mythic hero at the end of the March is going to be a Colorless Mage. Also, fun fact, Rock is the name of the base weapon of a Colorless Tome. It has been data mined, and I'm really curious about like what kind of units can be colorless mages, because a lot of people do try to separate mages from their base game into red, blue, and green, but now we have colorless as an option. Now, colorless mages are going to be extremely useful for nuking, because they don't really have any kind of weapon strangle disadvantage, and more so defensively. There is a reason why Fallen Corrin or Fallen Tiki or Mufasa are so popular as tanks, because they are colorless. They're not going to be getting absolutely thrashed by any kind of color disadvantage, so they work really, really well as a tank. So that's the main uses of colorless units, and colorless mages are going to be no different in that regard. Just imagine if Ophelia was colorless. You know, she'll be able to nuke more units with her AoE special, and she's already so powerful enough that she can nuke many of the green units. So just imagine if she didn't have that weapon strangle disadvantage. Imagine if someone like Reinhardt was colorless. He would definitely nuke really, really hard. And imagine if someone like Micaiah was colorless. With dual effectiveness on armor and cavalry units, she's going to be able to nuke all of them. So that's going to be the main mileage that a lot of the mages are going to be able to get out of the colorless color, being able to nuke well and being able to work as a tank better. As a tank, you know, they're going to be having that BST penalty, but they can make up for that fact with weapons and stuff like that, so they could act as a defensive unit still. So those are just the potentials. And I do think that Rhea is going to be a colorless mage at the end of this month. I've prepared this cute PowerPoint presentation to put my points forward. So have a look at this and let me know if I'm right or wrong, and if this ends up being right, then maybe I'm the intern clone after all. And there are also some other notable options like Athos, Ashera, and Zephyrin. Ashera could be a potentially strong candidate because Yoon or Yune is already a Dark Mythic hero. Athos could also work, and Zephyrin as well, so these could be some of the Mythic hero candidates because they fill the criteria and they can be colorless mages. So really excited for these colorless mages actually, what they bring to the table, and especially if it ends up being Rhea, then I'm gonna be super excited. The next topic is about the new status symbols which have been found in the assets of the new update. So if you look at these icons, they have this kind of barrier around this person, and the dragon effective and armor effective being grayed out instead of being green. So it appears to be some sort of immunity against dragon and armor slaying weapons perhaps, because there are just so many armor and dragon slaying weapons. Like, for example, in the Astra season, you absolutely cannot use any kind of dragon in your offense because Thrasiers are present everywhere. Thrasiers will absolutely blow back your dragon into another dimension. So dragons are basically unusable in the Astra season, just as an example. So that could be a reason why they have this kind of immunity as like a status. And I think this is gonna be like an exclusive skill from a mythic, similar to how Divine Fang was from Naga. So it's gonna be extremely limited in terms of its distribution, I hope. And now let's move on to the new currency that we have in this game, which is not paywall, thankfully. It's Divine Code, and we have been collecting a few of those for a few months now with Mjolnir Strike. So I'm going to be going over the rare Divine Codes. First, the red ones, which you can see on your screen, which are known as Ephemera. So these are limited time combat manuals, and after the time is up, you will no longer be able to use them. And they can be obtained from Forging Bonds, Hall of Forms, Grand Conquest, as it has been determined in the data mine. Forging Bond gives you 120 Ephemera in total, and Hall of Forms has added 5 new chambers from chamber 21 to 25, which will have tougher enemies with more inflated stats, and they're also going to be providing Ephemeras. And in total from Hall of Forms, you can also get 120 Ephemeras, and we can also assume that even from Grand Conquest, we're going to be able to get 120 Ephemera, I guess. And the thing is that Ephemeras cannot be converted into another form. For example, right now, as of making this video, we're going to be given out Ephemera 3, and they cannot be converted into Ephemera 4. So I believe this is tied to the version update because we got the 4.3.0 update. And even in the announcement board, they kind of hint towards that. So I think this is going to be valid for like every new version update. So just keep that in mind and spend your Ephemeras carefully and within the time limit so that you can get some nice rewards. And overall, this is going to be easy to get, I think, from like Forging Bonds, Hall of Forms, and Grand Conquest. So not really too much hard work required, I think. And these are the current units that we can get from Ephemera 3 right now. This pool of units are going to be available for 53 days. And the most notable skills that you can get is Lethal Carrot Plus from Spring Kagero and Green Egg Plus from Spring Camilla. Green Egg Plus isn't really all that useful, but it's a cute little weapon. I guess if you want to fodder that off, it could be a thing. All other options are from like normal summon pool units, so unless you're in a really dire need, you should probably not summon them. You should just probably use your Ephemeras for like Spring Kagero or something for Lethal Carrot Plus because it's a pretty good weapon. It's a woed out dagger basically. And we're probably going to be having more seasonal units in this kind of Ephemera pool, so we'll have to look forward to that. And then we have the normal Divine Codes, so they are separated into Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Right now we can only get Part 1 as of making this video, and they can be obtained from Mjolnir Strike, Arena, Ether Raids, and of course Faith Pass. And you need to unlock the units in a particular path on your way to have the full path unlocked. And you can actually work on unlocking multiple paths at the same time if you require those kinds of units. And I'm just going to be giving an overview of each path right now. So the first path is Awakening / Fates. From Grima, you could get Vengeful Fighter. Owain gives Blue Flame, which is a high scoring special, and Wrath. And Xander gives you Close Counter and Quick Riposte 3 at the same time. Dusk Uchiwa I don't think is that useful of a weapon, and Summer Cordelia also doesn't give very useful skills. And finally, the main unit we have at the end of that path is Corrin with Null Follow Up. In general, Null Follow Up is really good, and Close Counter is also a pretty premium slotty skill, so this path does have it. The second path is the Radiance path. Leon gives you Hone Beast and Flyer Formation. Elencia gives you Cloud Mayogi, which is Dragon Effective Weapon. and it does have hardy bearing effect built into it, so it can be seen many times in Ether Raid's defense teams, so it does have a lot of its application right there. Of course, Dragon Slasher is present on Larum, but Cloud Myogi is just gonna be an easily available option, I guess. And you can also inherit attack speed push 3 from her, just for inheriting attack speed push 4 and another skill from that kind of unit. For example, Bernadetta has got attack speed push 4, and she also has lull speed defense, so if you inherit attack speed push 3 first, then you could inherit both of those skills from Bernadetta, so it could be used like that. Lethe has got speed defense solo and Hone Beast, so not really too good. And Tanith has got Harsh Command Plus, which does have its application in Arena, of course, because chill skills are really common. It does have its application in Ether Raid's defense too, because Harsh Command can be used for AI manipulation, and you could also inherit Chill Attack 3 at the same time. And the final unit of this path is Grail, who has Fury 4. Fury 4 can be useful in many of the builds where you have to put your unit into the certain range of any kind of threshold skill, and you could also inherit at the same time with Fury 4, or you could inherit Armor March at the same time. And then we have got the Blade / Secret Stones path. Emilia gives you Armor March. They still haven't made Armor March as a free-to-play skill, so absolute cowards. Nino has got Swiss Sparrow and Speed Smoke, so you could inherit Speed Smoke from Fallen Takumi or have Swiss Sparrow from Nesala and then get the other skill from Nino, so that could be done. Ephraim has got Attack, Defense Solo, and Bold Fighter. You cannot inherit both of the skills at the same time, unfortunately. And the final unit of this path gives the coveted Distant Counter. So that is just gonna be really useful, but it is gonna be costing a lot of Divine Codes. And then we have got the Holy War path. Sigurd gives you Close Defense and Speed Smoke. As I said before, you could inherit like Speed Smoke from before, and you could have Close Defense 3 and Speed Smoke 3 inherited from him. And Levin gives you Special Spiral, a really premium skill, really destructive skill. Ishtar gives you Swift Sparrow 3 and Air Orders at the same time, provided you inherit Swift Sparrow 2 from a Nesala before. And Mystery Shadows path gives you Wrathful Staff 3 and Physic Plus with Jenny. You could inherit both of the skills at the same time. Pala has got Disarm Trap 3 and Hone Flyers at the same time, which you could inherit, and you could give that to someone like Air maybe. So that could be done. And Cliff is the final unit of this path, giving Fortress Defense Res 3, which is a tier 4 skill. And then the final path we have as of making this video is the Heroes path. Bruno gives you Dazzling Staff or Attack Defense Push 3. Once again, as I explained before with Attack Speed Push, this could be used for inheriting a tier 4 skill. And Fiarm gives you Attack Speed Link 3. It's not easily available right now on a Grail unit, but I think it's gonna be in near future. And Leviathan gives you Mirror Impact and Defense Res Link at the same time, provided you inherit Mirror Strike from Oliver. Impact skill in Mirror Impact is just so useful. It's such a good skill, but like generally, Sturdy Impact is preferred on a lot of units than Mirror Impact, but nonetheless, it's an impact skill. It cannot be said which path is objectively better. It depends on your need and on your barracks and also on your current projects. But for me personally, Awakening Fates and the Radiance path are my favorite paths, and I'm probably going to be working on them. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you go to sorting in these normal Divine Codes, you have this option called Newest, which kind of implies that maybe new paths are going to be added. And if they're going to be added, are going to be part 1 Divine Code paths, or are they going to be part 2 of Divine Code paths? We just don't know, but there's definitely a possibility. There are some missing paths which could be added, like the Thracia, Radiant Dawn, and Three Houses path. So if you have any of those favorite units from those paths which you're working on merging, or if you want the fodder off, you could definitely try to save your Divine Codes. And in general, it's going to be taking a really long time in completing a full path, let alone completing multiple paths. The final topic is regarding the increase in difficulty for all of these special maps like Grand Tour Battle, Bound Tour Battle, Legendary Hero, and Mythic Hero Battles for difficulties higher from Lunatic and above. So yeah, this was in the announcement board. They didn't really tell us beforehand, before like this update, and this kind of surprised me because I was really curious if this is going to be a retroactive change. If it's going to be like retroactive, it just renders all of the free-to-play guides that everyone has made so far just completely useless, because even change in one stat point can throw off the entire AI movement. And I was really worried about that because it just increases a lot of work. And I am right now in my first semester of my master's degree, so like I wouldn't be able to have that much time And some of these abyssal maps for Mythic and Legendary Hero battles can take hours upon hours. I'm talking about 8 to 12 hours. So I was definitely pretty worried about that, but it seems like it does not probably retroactive because Ursula's abyssal map that we can have access to today has no stat changes. So maybe going forward, they're going to be having tougher maps for this. Maybe with like abyssal difficulty for Grand Tour battles. And to be fair, people have been asking for that because a lot of times Grand Hero and Bound Tour battles turn out to be pretty easy. And abyssal maps for Legendary and Mythic Hero battles are definitely a pretty big challenge. So I don't think they're going to be doing too much stat inflation there. But this is intelligent systems we're talking about, so anything is possible at this point. Just wanted to address this thing because I've been getting tagged a lot on Twitter, Reddit, and pretty much everywhere about this kind of change. So thought I would just talk about this in the video. I really hope this is not retroactive change because I'm definitely not looking forward to making like all new videos for all of the maps once again. I mean, I do enjoy it, but it's gonna be such a big and tedious chore. I really don't have time right now. I'm gonna be having exams in a few months. So yeah, that is gonna be it for this news video. We did have quite a bit of topics. Let me know about anything you feel like in the comments. Feel free to discuss. Let's have a chill discussion. And if you enjoyed, then please be sure to like and comment. It helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And when you subscribe, please be sure to hit the notification bell and click on all so that you can always get the updates to my videos whenever I upload. Because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as my sanity if this turns out to be a retroactive difficulty change. So that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.